back on a chilly afternoon here at MetLife Stadium. A reminder, this game is being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. There's Bill Belichick, head coach of the Patriots, and on the flip side of the field, in his second season here in New York, Todd Bowles. The Jets have won the toss. They have deferred. And the Patriots, Danny Amendola, brings it out of the end zone to about the 20-yard line. So that is where Tom Brady and company will go to work. Brady off of a 4-touchdown game at San Francisco last week. 16 TD passes against a lone interception, coming up on 60,000 passing yards, career win number 200. Other than that, Trent, he hasn't done a doggone thing.
He's just been doing it his entire career, and that's the amazing thing about it. The number of years he's been in the league and playing at such a high level week in and week out.
50's the mic!
On first down from the 20. Quick pass outside and off the fingertips of James White, incomplete. On the offensive line, number 77, Nate Solder and company have only allowed 11 sacks of Tom Brady since his Week 5 return. And tight end Rob Gronkowski, a chest injury 3 weeks ago against Seattle, missed last week at San Francisco and back today.
Well, the thing that stood out to me on that first play, Greg, was the fact that it was such a quick throw, and Sheldon Richardson got through and was able to knock down Tom Brady already on the first snap of the game.
On 2nd and 10. Brady under pressure, incomplete. And Brady on the turf again. Sheldon Richardson and Lorenzo Malden in on the Patriot quarterback. Jets on defense. Second-year defensive end Leonard Williams has been outstanding. A team-leading 6 quarterback sacks. New York owns the NFL's 4th best defense against the run. David Harris, the team's leading tackler. And 6th-year safety Marcus Gilchrist with a pair of interceptions, looking for more against number 12 here today.
Well, Greg, Leonard Williams talked to us about getting Brady off his spot, getting them into 3rd and long situations. That's exactly what they've done here on the first series.
Brady flips it to Dion Lewis out of the backfield. Lewis diving for first down yardage at the 30-yard line. That's right at the marker. He appears to have enough for it. Leonard Williams making the stop.
This is going to be a screen set up. You have the flash fake going off to Brady's left, and then he flips it out to the right. And this is Dion Lewis in open space. 3 defenders there to tackle him and keep him from the first down, yet he's able to make them miss and get up to the chains.
So 2 incomplete passes. The 3rd is good for 10 yards, and it's a new set of downs for New England at their own 30.
52!
LeGarrette Blount, the deep back.
Open! Timeout!
And Brady calls a quick timeout before he runs out of time on the play clock. We talked about these Patriots leading the way in the AFC East and trying to stay ahead of Miami. A winner today over San Francisco. And Buffalo eking out a win today against Jacksonville.
Well, it's the surging Miami Dolphins. That's 6 straight wins for them now, and they've gotten hot. They're buying into what Adam Gase, new head coach Adam Gase, is selling, because they're really believing in his system.
There's Todd Bowles. Been under a little fire here in New York.
And he understands that. He knows that they have to play better. I think he's challenging the spot of that the previous
Jets
play on 3rd down.
Challenging the ruling on the field of a first down. We will review the play.
Referee Brad Allen filling us in. So they'll go under the hood and take a look and see whether or not the spot was good. We'll take a break and come back and find out the decision. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Back at MetLife Stadium, and let's take a look again at what Todd Bowles is challenging.
Well, on the tackle here, Dion Lewis, Leonard Williams bringing him down. Watch where the ball is. You can see here it's almost right at the 29 or just outside the 29-yard line, but definitely not all the way to the 30-yard line where the officials marked it. This is ultimately going to be a very costly timeout from Tom Brady, not getting the look that he wanted, but also giving the Jets more time to make the challenge.
Well, they're taking a good long look.
Well, you can see from that last picture, Greg, the officials aren't even under the hood anymore. Now it's more of trying to figure out how much time's left on the clock. What do you have to move the clock back to? Because you know once that spot was made and the first down was given, the clock starts winding. So now you got to wind it back. And
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field has been changed. The ball carrier was short of the line of gain. It will be 4th and 1 from the 29-yard line. The Jets are not charged a timeout and are successful in their challenge.
So the line of scrimmage is a full yard shy of the 30.
well, and the Patriots still have their offense on the field. You think they're going to go for it on inside their own 30 on the first drive of the game? The way they're setting it up, it looks that way.
You like this move?
Against the #1 rush defense in the National Football League? I don't know. I think they come out and they give more of a hard count. I think Brady's going to try and draw them off sides, get the first down. If they don't get it, call the timeout and go ahead and punt it away. But, oh, here they come running out. They're switching late. That'd have been very gutsy, Greg. That'd have been very gutsy to start the game that way.
So Ryan Allen, the punter, on the field, and Jeremy Ross is deep for the Jets. Ross drifting back to the 15-yard line. And back to the 25. Across the 25 to the 26-yard line. So 13:43 to play here in the first, and onto the field. But now we have a Patriot down at the 25, and that is Jordan Richards, second-year defensive back out of Stanford. And that's Richard on the bottom being bent backwards.
That makes me cringe up here, Greg.
So they will still continue to work on Jordan Richards on the field, and we'll step aside for just a moment.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Fruit of the Loom. Keep your cool in breathable underwear. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome back, everyone. Jordan Richards able to walk off of the field by himself, and the Jets start now from their own 26-yard line.
Mike's right, 24. Mike 20.
Ryan Fitzpatrick calls the numbers, throws outside, and that's complete to Brandon Marshall for a first down. There's Jordan Richards being worked on the sideline. 155 straight games with a reception for Brandon Marshall now. The 13-yard pickup and a first down to the 39. Fitzpatrick gives to Forte, and Forte across the 40 and bounces his way up to about the 42-yard line. A fair number of folks thought second-year quarterback Bryce Petty should be given another shot, but Coach Todd Bowles says Ryan Fitzpatrick is his guy again this week, Trent.
Well, it gives him the best chance to win, and that's what he's talking about. He goes, I'm not trying to build for next season. That's what Coach Bowles was saying. I'm not trying to build for next season. I'm trying to get a win today against New England, and he feels Ryan Fitzpatrick gives him that best chance.
Mike 20.
From the 42. Give it to Forte again. Forte to about the 45-yard line. The heart of the Jets' offensive line, seven-time Pro Bowl center Nick Mangold has missed the last 3 games with an ankle injury. Make it 4. Wesley Johnson starts. And a good chunk of that Jet offense this year generated by running back Matt Forte. 8 touchdowns all told, 7 of them on the ground. Fitzpatrick and the Jets now looking at a 3rd and 4. Bilal Powell is in the backfield.
Mike's 5-4. You're here. We're hot. Hey, you're over here.
Fitzpatrick throwing for Marshall. Pulled it down. catch is made at the New England 35-yard line.
Well, and that was Nick Mangold getting all fired up over on the sideline. The Patriots look like they're going to pressure. They only bring 2 and drop 9 into coverage, and yet Marshall's still able to get open with the corner route in between the zone coverage. Perfectly thrown ball from Ryan Fitzpatrick.
20-yard pickup and a first down. Now Powell and C.J. Spiller sharing the backfield. Miller in motion. The give is to Powell, and Powell not much doing, just across the 35 to about the 33-yard line. You know, it was an extended conversation on the NFL Today with our guys this morning, talking about how some players definitely don't want to break in a new quarterback no matter what the record is. New England's defense, number 98, Trey Flowers, 4 sacks lead the Patriots. Dante Hightower, rock solid in the middle of the Patriot D. And safety Patrick Chung, a pick, a sack, the club's leading tackler to boot.
Mike's left 5-4. Mike's left 5-4.
Fitzpatrick now on 2nd and 8. Good protection this side of the field, and it comes up short of Austin Safarian Jenkins, the intended receiver.
Well, good protection that time. You can see some of the Patriots players were looking for a holding call, so plenty of time for Fitzpatrick to make a connection there, just not dialed in on the throw.
Trent, that's an oddity in itself. You don't see the Jets throwing to a tight end very often.
They don't. Only 4 receptions by Jets tight ends all season long, which is, you look on the other side of the field, the Patriots, they utilize their tight end as much as anybody in the league.
3rd and 8. Fitzpatrick moving up, now throws over the middle. It is incomplete. Marshall, the intended receiver, covered by Logan Ryan, and there's a penalty flag down in the backfield. And this looks like this will be against the Jets.
Holding, offense number 76. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
That's the center, Wesley Johnson.
Well, and this is going to be a 52-yard field goal. 76, the center, right in the middle there. You can see just tackles. That was an easy call against Flowers. Let's take a look at Mangold.
Now this is a 51-yard field goal attempt. Would have pushed them out of field goal range if they accept the penalty, but Nick Folk going to get a chance. 51 yards out, on its way, and more than enough leg to put the Jets up 3-0.
No, and that's his first kick over 50 yards this season.
So there's one more question for Bill Belichick to answer post-game. 3-0, Jets. .10:29 to play in the first quarter here at MetLife Stadium. Nick Folk's 51-yard field goal has the Jets on top by 3. Danny Amendola and James White deep for the Patriots. And Amendola will not bring this one out of the end zone. The touchback, they'll start at the 25. And we check in for the first time today with Jamie downstairs. Jamie.
Greg, thank you. Good news for the Patriots injury report this week for their bigger names. Both Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski active for today. As far as their pre-game warm-ups went, both seem very normal to me. Brady doesn't seem like he's wearing any extra brace on that right knee that aggravated him, that kept him out of practice 2 days this week. Same for Rob Gronkowski. In between that series, neither of which had extra attention paid to them. And for the Jets, center Nick Mangold still out for them. He's on the sideline without a walking boot on that right ankle. He did warm up this morning, but he is still unavailable to them.
Jamie, thank you. This is LeGarrette Blount. Blount trying to turn the corner, now going to change direction with Brady as a blocker. And gets the first down. Across the 35. And a New England first down.
I'm sure every New England Patriot fan was watching Tom Brady lead this and saying, just get out of the way, go down, fall down, something, get out of the way. You see him come back, he's trying to lead it, and he avoids everybody. He's dealing with that right knee injury that caused him to miss a couple of days. He's fortunate. A lot of times defenses take that as an opportunity to get a clean hit on a quarterback if they're out leading in front.
Brady did not practice 2 days this week. That pass is incomplete. Intended for James Devlin. Last week, he favored that knee against the 49ers.
Trying to slide up in the pocket here. He buckles and goes down. Doesn't quite have the strength in it. And there he is at the last play of the game taking a knee. You can see how hard it is for him just to go down and get back up. That explains why he missed a couple days this week.
Didn't practice Wednesday, didn't practice Thursday. It gives to Dion Lewis. And Lewis gets to the 37. Rontez Miles coming up from the secondary. You and I were talking on the way to the stadium. If there's any quarterback in the league who could miss a couple of days of practice and still come out and perform fairly well, it would be Tom Brady.
Well, and I think he proved that by missing the first 4 games of the season. He came back in that first game against Cleveland and looked as sharp as if he'd been playing the entire season. So you do want your reps. You do want to get your practice in. But, yeah, you're right. He's the guy that if you're going to miss some time, he could do it.
3rd and 7 now. Brady with all kinds of time and going to go deep. He's got Gronkowski. Incomplete.
Very seldom do you see a tight end taking a deep route like this. It's normally a seam shot where it's a flatter type of throw. This is over the top. Brady mad at himself for missing that throw.
Jeremy Ross let that bounce and hit a jet, and Ross covered the ball at about the 13-yard line. That ball appeared to bounce off of Buster's screen. But the Jets will have possession deep in their own territory with 8:48 to go here in the first.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. It's always a great gift on Verizon. And by Papa John's, official pizza sponsor of the NFL.
Fitzpatrick and the Jets from their own 13-yard line. With a 3-point lead, and this is Forte, and Forte tripped up in the backfield by Elandon Roberts, the rookie linebacker from Houston. Trent, your keys to the game for the day.
Well, I think for the Patriots, it's the offensive line matchup. They have, obviously, everybody knows about that Jets defensive front 4, and that's going to be a big challenge for them. And then no big plays for the Jets. New England has to make them earn it, make the Jets work down the field. And then for New York, they need a consistent run game. The Jets are 3-0 when Matt Forte has at least 25 carries and red zone production. The Jets are last in the National Football League in touchdown percentage in the red zone.
Loss of 3 on that last play. Now the quick pass to Brandon Marshall. That is complete across the 15 to about the 19-yard line. So Marshall off to a good start today.
Well, and that's one of the things here we talked to Ryan Fitzpatrick about this week was the Patriots are very good defensively in not giving up the big play. They make you earn it. They make you work your way down the field. It's not something where all of a sudden you're going to get them over the top. It happens occasionally, but not very often. And he said that's something that's been missing from the Jets offense this year. I said, what are the biggest difference between last year and this year? He said, we just haven't been getting those top-end plays, those big plays up the field. Marshall,
3 receptions for 42 yards already today. Fitzpatrick goes to the far side of the field, and that's complete to Quincy Enunwa. And Devin McCourty pushes him out of bounds. And very close. We're going to get a measurement.
Enunwa tries to extend the ball. Watch where his feet, if they go out of bounds when he extends it.
You know, he got the ball extended before he came down out of bounds.
And when he did come down, he came down on top of McCourty. Based on what we saw, I don't think you can change this spot.
that much. And Todd Bowles is not going to go for it. So the punting unit comes on. Danny Amendola goes deep.
Well, I think that's the right call, Greg. I think that when you look at what the Jets have been able to do defensively against the Patriots, 2 series for the Patriots offense and only 22 yards. Right now, you're winning the field position battle. You're up on the scoreboard. No reason to take a risk this close to your own end zone.
Danny Amendola looking to improve that field position here. He's at his own 25. Edwards high and not very deep. And a fair catch is called for and made at about the 33-yard line. So that's where Brady and the New England offense will start with 6:54 to play here in the first when we come back.
Watching the NFL on CBS.
Brady and the Patriots at their own 34-yard line. New England down by 3.
319.
And under pressure, he got rid of it to Edelman. And no gain. I don't think it's going to be much of a gain. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, once again, Brady ended up on the ground. The Jets bringing pressure. Clean hit by Malden.
Not that anyone ever thinks it's going to be a cakewalk, but Tom Brady has hit the turf a fair amount of times so far today.
Well, Coach Belichick talked to us about this. You know, the Jets have played them very well the last few times. They beat them the last time these two teams played here in the Meadowlands, the last game, or second to last game of last season.
Brady over the middle. That's got Edelman, and Edelman diving for first down yardage, and that's going to be close. All-time wins in the National Football League. Peyton Manning at 200. One notch behind him, Tom Brady and Brett Favre.
Well, and I brought that up in conversation to him yesterday, and he said, you know, all that means is I've played with some really good players, some really good coaches, and you have to be fortunate as well. So he was downplaying his role in it, but I think it's pretty clear his impact on all those wins.
This is Blunt. And Blunt to about the 47. We get an update from New York, JB.
Greg, Carolina needs a lot more of this. Cam Newton responds. We call this student body left. Cam Newton with the 3-yard touchdown run to tie it all up. 7-all in Oakland.
3:10 left in the first quarter. Back to Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, and Jamie Erdahl.
All right, guys, thank you. That Atlanta team was impressive today, wasn't it, Trent?
They were. They right from the beginning of the game all the way through, and continue to stretch that lead.
Brady, play fake, whip time, and throws it away on this side of the field. Blunt, the intended receiver, out of the backfield. So it'll be 3rd and 7.
Well, and you can see some of the frustration coming from Brady, and you and I talked about the timing of it, how it may not affect Tom missing a couple days of practice, but he's already had a couple of throws that just weren't quite in sync with his receivers. And he's also been under a lot of pressure from the Jet front four.
You're saying we might have been dead wrong.
we could have been, but there's a long way to go in this game.
3rd and 7. Brady down the sideline for Gronkowski. Couldn't pull it in with one hand. Asking for a flag and doesn't get it. Covered by Darrell Roberts.
Well, and I think the reason Gronk was asking for it is Roberts, as they're working down the sideline, grabbed a hold of Gronk's left arm and pulled it back right when the ball was getting there. Let's see if we can see it from this angle. Watch that right arm hook the left arm of Rob Gronkowski, and right as the ball's coming in.
Oh, I think he had a pretty good hold of Gronkowski's left arm.
He has a valid argument there, not able to get 2 hands up because it was being pulled back.
Jeremy Ross hit after the fair catch call, and now here comes the flag. He was hit by Jonathan Jones, who did his best to keep him upright.
He did his best to hold him up, but momentum ended up tipping him over. And even if they don't tip over, that's got to be a penalty if there was a fair catch called. Well, I think that's why there's so much discussion there, Greg, is like, how significant of a fair catch? Did he get his arm up in the air? Was it late?
Ooh, it's kind of a wave at it, but
There is no foul for unnecessary roughness, as it was not an extra second violent act. We will take timeout.
so the Jets were looking for some extra yardage. They don't get it. 4:42 to play in the first. Here's a question for you. What makes Monday TV's best night of comedy? The Big Bang Theory, Kevin Can Wait, Man with a Plan, and The Odd Couple. Tomorrow, starting at 8, 7 Central, only. CBS. So the Jets from their own 21-yard line.
Hey, let's go. Rex. Hey, Rex, 54.
Forte alongside Fitzpatrick in the backfield. Fitzpatrick with time, over the middle, bobbled and held, and then out to about the 30-yard line is Austin Seferian Jenkins, a tight end.
How about that?
Well,
getting the tight end involved. We could see man-to-man across the board over on the outside. I thought maybe he was going to go to Brandon Marshall. Anytime you get one-on-one on the outside, it seems that he throws it that way. Sometimes he can get caught up forcing it too much to Brandon Marshall when he gets one-on-ones. That time making the smart decision, hit the underneath route, give yourself second and short.
considering how little they have thrown to their tight ends, it's no surprise that Seferian Jenkins is wide open.
Nobody covered it
No
right.
one near him.
When it's on! Hey, 52's the mic. Soho. Set.
On 2nd and 1, Fitzpatrick going to throw for it all the way down the far sideline. That's caught! To the 30-yard line, Quincy Enunwa.
Well, second and short is your time to take those shots. You look at the Patriots with 8 guys in the box, man-to-man pressed on the outside and safety in the middle of the field. Ryan Fitzpatrick takes advantage of it with Enunwa down the sideline. Great catch by Enunwa.
That's another perfect throw from Ryan Fitzpatrick. 40-yard pickup. And the Jets are at the New England 30. Fitzpatrick under pressure had to cut it loose in a hurry, and it's incomplete. You know, to get back to what we were talking about earlier, and the guys on the NFL Today earlier, I think it was Tony Gonzalez who said, you know, if you're a veteran player, you don't want to be experimenting with a youngster out there no matter what your record is.
You don't care when the rebuilding process starts because all you're worried about is wins, especially as a veteran guy. So there's Rob Gronkowski appears to be going to the locker room. But you're right, and Tony was right when talking about it on the NFL Today that as a veteran player, you just want to get wins.
180.
Forte trying to turn the corner, and he gets a couple before he's wrestled to the ground by Eric Rowe. Gronkowski just back today after the chest injury, and now taking a walk to the locker room.
Well, and I don't remember him taking a big hit in the chest there. There was the deep throw down the middle of the field that was overthrown that he dove for and maybe landing on it a little awkwardly, and then the last play down the sideline getting his arm tugged on but not going to the ground. So interesting to get an update on that.
Okay, here's Fitzpatrick on a 3rd and 9. With time, crossing over the middle, Brandon Marshall inside the 20 to the 17 and a first down.
Marshall will be working from right to left for Fitzpatrick, and once again it appears the Patriots are going to bring pressure, but they only rushed 3 this time, dropping 8 into coverage. They had a couple of guys robbing or spying in the middle of the field to take away those crossing routes, but they were able, because of the protection and the time that he had, to hit Marshall in that second window or on the backside of the defense.
The last 6 games between these two teams decided by 7 points or less. 2 of those games went to overtime. The Jets won the 2 OT games, and the Pats won the other.
Mike's 5-4. Mike's 5-4.
And we get a timeout on the field. 1:39 to play in the first. The Jets with a 3-point lead and threatening. Minute 39 to play here in the first quarter.
Jets looking very efficient offensively, working this drive right down the field, spreading the ball around. They have a big play up the sideline, hitting the tight end over the middle. Marshall on crossing route, sprinkling in some runs.
Marshall at the very top of your screen. And the give is to Bilal Powell, and Powell squeezes through and pulls his way to about the 11. That'll be about 3 yards short of a first down.
The offensive line without Mangold, but that time Wesley Johnson and crew work in the middle of that defense against the Patriots and finding a crease as we look at Matt Patricia, defensive coordinator for the Patriots.
Hey, Mike's 5-4.
These Patriots on defense have not allowed a first quarter touchdown in the last 5 games. 1 minute to play here in the first. Powell again. And Powell to the 6, and it'll be first and goal. Make it the 7-yard line, but it's enough for a first down.
Well, we've talked about already the problems the Jets have had in the red zone. Last in the league in touchdown percentage in the red zone and last in the league in scoring percentage in the red zone. But not showing any signs of it on this drive. Moving the ball efficiently and getting a first and goal.
In the red zone, the Jets have turned the ball over 6 times. That's the most in the NFL. They go to the Wildcat now. Bilal Powell looking for the snap.
Fitzpatrick up top here.
Powell looking for running room. Breaks it to the outside, to the 5, diving to about the 1.5, maybe the 1-yard line. Just outside the 1, and that's where the first quarter will come to an end. We'll go to the other side of the field where the Jets are knocking on the door. We've played 1 quarter here at MetLife Stadium. The Jets 3, the Patriots nothing. Back for the start of the second quarter. Jets at the 1.5. On second and goal. Quick pass for Marshall. Touchdown!
This is a matchup Fitzpatrick's looking for when you get Brandon Marshall one-on-one. He likes the big physical play of his receiver, and that time against Malcolm Butler, who's tied for the National Football League lead with 10 passes defense, but not that time.
3rd touchdown catch of the season for Brandon Marshall. The 6-time Pro Bowler with 5 catches already today.
How about Ryan Fitzpatrick? 8 of 11 for 105 yards and a touchdown already on the day.
Nick Folk for the extra point. And it is good. Number 15 having himself a good day. He's got 53 yards receiving. The New England Patriots have 36 total yards. 10-0 Jets. Ryan Fitzpatrick with his 9th touchdown pass of the season. The 1-yarder to Brandon Marshall. And there's number 15. The Jets kick it away. Amendola will not run it out of the end zone. We'll start from the 25, and we check in with Jamie downstairs.
Greg, just after the Patriots' last offensive drive, we saw tight end Rob Gronkowski head to the locker room. The team is telling us he is questionable to return with a back injury. Now, keep in mind, he didn't travel to San Francisco last week due to a chest injury. We're taking a look at a play from 2 series ago. We're not positive if this is where he sustained that injury. As far as the sideline goes, he wasn't receiving any treatment. It was just a lot of conversations with the team staff before he walked off the field. Greg?
All right, Jamie, thank you.
What's important to remember, Greg, he did stay in the game after that hit. We just don't know of any other time during the game that he took a big hit.
Brady to the far side of the field. That is complete, and that is Martellus Bennett. And that's enough for a first down just across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
Well, you and I were just saying at commercial, Greg, we're bringing up the fact they need to get the tight ends into this game, and that time Martellus Bennett getting the reception.
First time that the Patriots held scoreless in the first quarter with Tom Brady at the helm.
Well, right now nobody's covering Bennett outside.
And a quick pass to him, and he gets it across the 40 to the 42. We were talking with both Bennett and Gronkowski last night about how sometimes one conveys the play to the other.
Yeah, those two. It was quite the comedy act with the two of them in the room. It was you can tell they have a lot of fun, and it's really been a breath of fresh air for Rob Gronkowski having Martellus there. He brings a lot of personality not only to the position and the position meeting room, but to the team meeting room as well.
Hey,
2nd and 5.
5 man. 319. Reject.
Brady to this side of the field, incomplete. 3 Jets around Julian Edelman as that ball sailed over everybody, and it'll be 3rd and 5. And this Jet defense looking a lot like the one that everyone thought it would be at the start of the season.
See Tom Brady with the frustration there of the throw, and you're right, Greg. This Jets defense, the first half of the season, they were last in the National Football League in pass defense. In the last 5 weeks have gotten much better, only allowing 4 touchdown passes the last 5 games.
Here's a 3rd and 5. And I think we get a Jet timeout.
Sharp.
So the Jets used their second timeout here in the first half with plenty of time remaining here in the second quarter. You know, getting back to that whole thing with Todd Bowles, very determined, knows exactly what he wants to do, and is going to do things his way.
Yeah, he doesn't appear to be one of those guys who gets caught up in what the media's opinions are, what the fans' opinions are. He's got a plan, and he wants to implement it. He's very straightforward with us, and he's very straightforward with his team.
3rd and 5. Brady, this side of the field. Oh, what a catch, just short of midfield by Malcolm Mitchell, the rookie out of Georgia.
Malcolm Mitchell's going to be one-on-one with Darryl Roberts, and they're just on the left sideline, just a back shoulder stop route. Putting it away from where the defender can get to the ball, but Mitchell with the concentration doesn't catch it cleanly at first, but secures it before hitting the ground.
So the line of scrimmage, the 48 of the Patriots.
319. Reject.
And it's a first down. Brady short drop, quick pass to the outside. And Chris Hogan fighting his way inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. Chris Hogan, another one of those who missed last week's game with a bad back, and he's back in action today.
Well, it's important for him to be back in action. He went to high school in New Jersey, went to college in New Jersey, so a bit of a homecoming for him.
Now on 2nd and 2, LeGarrette Blount going to get the handoff, going to get the first down. And he's going to be marked down at about the 40-yard line. NFL fans, order your holiday gifts from NFLshop.com today and save up to 25% off at the official store of the NFL, NFLshop.com. So first down and the first sign of some consistency on the part of this New England offense.
First time we've seen this offense in rhythm all day. They hadn't converted a 3rd down before this series. Now they finally got one and trying to move this ball down the field.
Brady, quick pass out here and the double pass. Hogan throwing it downfield and it's incomplete and penalty markers fly. Intended for Malcolm Mitchell.
Well, and if you're wondering how that can be, that was a backward pass to Hogan, and for him to get that ball off as quickly as he did is very impressive.
Defense, number 27. By rule, the ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
Darrell Roberts is guilty of the call. Let's watch it again.
The quick throw to the outside to Hogan, and Roberts looking back. Or not looking back here. That's
I
how
didn't think he looked back, right.
Well, I think he looked back at the beginning. That's how he got caught on the double pass.
First and goal.
319.
Brady under pressure and got rid of it. Leonard Williams, the big defensive end.
I know Brady hasn't been sacked all day, but he's been on his back quite a few times, taking some big shots. We already mentioned the fact he missed a couple games with that bad knee, and Jets not letting him get comfortable in the pocket.
Second and goal. Brady gives to Dion Lewis, and Lewis is wrapped up. Sheldon Richardson led the charge.
Well, back-to-back plays. Sheldon Richardson, the play before Leonard Williams. Those have been the two most dominant defensive linemen for the Jets this season, continually making plays. This time Lewis nowhere to go.
Last two games, opponents have gotten to the Jets' red zone 7 times, only been able to score 1 touchdown. Brady on the move and had to throw it away again. And once again, Leonard Williams applying the pressure.
Nowhere. I'm sorry about that, Greg. Nowhere for Tom Brady to go. Watch Martellus Penny. He's going to go on the corner here, but there's going to be 3 defenders following over. That's where Brady is looking. He gives a quick look out to the right, but there's too many defenders out there. Nowhere to go with the football. Being smart, get to the outside, throw it away, take your three-point attempt.
Steven Gostkowski from 28 yards out. And that kick is good. So 10:45 to play in the first half, and New England finds the scoreboard. Jets 10, Patriots 3. We're coming back to MetLife Stadium after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by PayPal. A better way to pay is here. PayPal is new money. Nissan, innovation that excites. And by Macy's.
10 minutes, 45 seconds to play in the first half here at MetLife Stadium. The Jets with a 10-3 lead, and Tom Brady looking things over, and you know Tom, not very pleased with the way things are going. Jeremy Ross on the run at the 3. Up the middle, across the 20 to about the 24-yard line. Coming up, the Verizon halftime report. JB and the guys with all the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Verizon halftime report.
You know, Greg, the Patriots are never one to make excuses for anything, but you wonder how much comes into play with the fact that not only Thanksgiving this week, so it's kind of messed up the practice schedule, but the Patriots playing on the West Coast last week, getting back about 5 in the morning on Monday, and then adjusting their schedule because of Thanksgiving, whereas the Jets are coming off a bye week. Right now, the Jets definitely look more sharp than the Patriots do.
Place on! Hey, 58 is mine! Soho! Touch!
Fitzpatrick gives to Forte, and Forte, not much running room there, maybe a yard to the 25-yard line. Jabal Sheard making the stop. Sheard did not even make the trip to San Francisco last week for New England, and appears to have lost his starting job recently to Trey Flowers.
Well, Flowers, you're right, has started the last few games, and when asked about that not traveling, Sheard not traveling, there was really no explanation. So.
Hey, 54 is mine. Mike's right.
2nd and 9. Fitzpatrick on the move and throwing and got his man across the 40. That's Robbie Anderson. Anderson lost the ball. Malcolm Butler with the recovery.
Well, and it was Malcolm Butler that punched it out as well. He saw him getting tackled going to the ground. He just reached in with that right arm and punched it loose and was able to jump on top of it. Watch Butler there, 21. He just punches it, drops right in front of him.
New York Jets with their 21st turnover of this season. And that's the third most in the NFL coming in. They had 24 all last year. Let's see what the Patriots do about that. They regain control at the 50-yard line. Brady with time, sideline, looking for Edelman. And he pulled it in. Just before he went out of bounds at the Jet 32.
Well, Julian Edelman in the slot just running a corner route, and another example of Tom Brady not looking as sharp as what he's looked throughout the entire season. Edelman, give him all the credit on that one, able to get his foot in bounds and drag the back toe with no defender around him.
52! Over back!
18-yard pickup and a first down.
52 is the mic. Over back. 319! Reject!
This is Blunt. And Blunt hit as he approached the line of scrimmage, leading the charge was Darren Lee.
Tom Brady taking some hits today. See Sheldon Richardson, Leonard Williams, but they both have been all over him. This time Malden driving him into the ground. As we mentioned, Brady missed a couple of days of practice with a bad right knee and 5 hurries, 3 knockdowns. Been under some pressure early on in this game and doesn't quite honestly have as much mobility to get away from that pressure.
With that last completion, went over 60,000 career passing yards. To the near side, this is Bennett. And Bennett, a helmet rolling free on the field as Bennett is pushed out of bounds at about the 27-yard line.
Malden's down on this near sideline over here.
And Lorenzo Malden slowly, let's see. Like he was trying to sit up and then can't right now. So with 3rd and 5 pending, we'll take an injury timeout. Jet sideline says Lorenzo Malden suffering from a right ankle injury, walking very gingerly as Brady looks at a 3rd and 5 at the Jets 27. With time, crossing over the middle, and that is complete to Julian Edelman, and that's a first down close to the 20. Tom Brady adding to his totals now, I told you. Over the 60,000 career passing mark.
Well, and that's not a number you take lightly when you consider all the players in the history of the league. You see the 4 other guys that are at the 60,000 mark. Kind of get caught up in the flow of the game, and you've got to mention the fact that 60,000 incredible number.
This is Dion Lewis. Lewis to the 10. And brought down at about the 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal.
Well, and after injuring his knee late last season, missing the beginning of the season, recovering from that ACL injury last week against San Francisco was his first time back on the field. 23 yards rushing a week ago. You can see the elusiveness and his speed, the acceleration has all returned.
Lewis still in the backfield on 1st and goal. Lewis with the handoff inside the 5 to about the 3.5 or the 4-yard line. Shows the role turnovers play in this game, Trent, because the Jets, the feeling they had control of this game.
Yeah, everything was going their way. They had the momentum, and after that big completion, got them near midfield, but Malcolm Butler with the big punch out and recovery.
Brady lost the handle, picks it up, throws to the end zone, caught in the end zone for a touchdown by Malcolm Mitchell.
What incredible poise here. Malcolm Mitchell's on the backside. He's just going to come up and work the back line and watch Brady after he drops the ball. Quick flash fake here to Edelman. He wants to get out to the flat. James White is going out to the right flat. Two defenders go with him. Brady maintaining his poise. Looks to White. It's covered. No big deal. I'll drop the ball, dribble it to myself, and throw a touchdown.
What are the chances of that ball bouncing right back to Brady?
Very improbable, but it worked out well for him, and you can see maintaining the poise to still go through his reads even after picking up the ball and bobbling it. Looked out to the flat first and was able to come back to the second read.
Gostowski missed an extra point last week. Got one there. Robbie Anderson lost the ball. Butler recovered it. Brady lost the ball, recovered it, and threw a touchdown pass. We're tied at 10.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the new film Sing, in theaters this Christmas. And by Bud Light, beer with your team on it.
Back at MetLife Stadium, we are tied at 10, 6:29 to play. And Jeremy Ross is deep once again. This one's returnable. Ross on the run at the 6. Across the 20 to about the 21-yard line. So just under 6.5 to play. Tom Brady wondering where that play came from that he ended up throwing. Robert Kraft, head man, the New England Patriots.
Well, it's very important here now that the Jets get the ball back after that turnover and the Patriots responding and going down and getting a touchdown to tie this thing up. How did the Jets respond here? They had the momentum going early. Now see if they can get it back.
180!
Fake to Forte. The pass to Forte. And Forte out of bounds just across the 25-yard line. Pushed out by Malcolm Butler. Jamie.
Greg, we saw Lorenzo Malden limp off the field during that last defensive series for the Jets. He was in a lot of pain on the sideline. They got his shoe off him finally on that right ankle. The doctors were looking at him. He was carted off the field. Nothing official from the team yet. He left his helmet on the whole time. He was in a lot of pain.
All right, Jamie, thank you. 5-yard pickup for Forte, 2nd and 5. Forte again. And Forte looking for the first down at the 31. Looks like he's going to come up just short of the marker. Alan Branch, Malcolm Brown with the stop. And it'll be 3rd down.
Well, I like Changaley. I like the way he's calling this game so far today for the Jets and for Ryan Fitzpatrick. And Ryan Fitzpatrick's not forcing the ball down the field. He's taking the smart throws underneath. He's not forcing it up the field and pushing it. He's taking the underneath routes, being smart with his decision-making. Good job of mixing it up by Changaley.
3 tight ends on the field now for the Jets on 3rd and short yardage.
180! What's on?
And he got the Patriots to jump. Alan Branch made the jump.
Outside, defense number 97. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Quarterbacks love that, don't they?
You always feel like you won. It's one of those mental things. You're like, okay, let me see if I can get them. And you go through different variations of the hard count, and you finally get one. Yeah, it's very satisfying.
You have a highlight clip of yours, don't you?
I did a few of them, yes.
So on first down, the Jets at their own 35, and it's going to give to Forte, and Forte not much there. The middle of the Patriot defense gets a little stout. You know, those things we're talking about. You mentioned Chan Gailey, and when Bill Belichick was talking about him last night, you kind of get the feeling there's nothing surprising. He knew, you know what Chan Gailey is going to try to do based on his experience, not just here, but everywhere else he stopped around the NFL.
Well, and that's what we asked him. He said, you know, when facing Chan Gailey, whether it's in Buffalo or here in New York or any of the other times they've faced each other through the years, he said, you kind of know each other, just the personnel and how they choose to call the plays with the personnel in the game.
Heavy rush on Fitzpatrick, and he had to get rid of it.
Excellent job by Logan Ryan. He comes on a blitz off the outside, and recognizing the fact that it's going to be a screen, he drops off onto the back and is right there where the running back is, and Fitzpatrick with nothing to do but throw it away.
So here's a big third down conversion facing Fitzpatrick and the Jets. They need the 45-yard line for a first down. Fitzpatrick gets time over the middle, hits his man inside the 45-yard line in Nunwa for the first down to the New England 42. 21 yards.
It's man-to-man coverage. Nunwa coming from the left side for Fitzpatrick. The other four receivers out in the route. They put five guys out in the route. They were all on the outside, giving the entire middle of the field to Nunwa, who's able to get open in the middle. Good throw by Fitzpatrick. Secures the catch, first down.
Enunwa, 3 catches for 64 yards.
Right 20! Press on! Kill! Forte! Kill! Touch!
This is Forte. And Forte pushing his way just inside the 40-yard line. Just a reminder for you, Saturday, Jim McElwain's Florida Gators try to make history by unseating Nick Saban's #1 unbeaten, still champion Crimson Tide. The SEC championship on CBS. It all begins at 2:30 Eastern Time with CBS College Football Championship Saturday and College Football Today. You know, Dante Hightower kind of knows a little about those matchups, doesn't he?
He knows a lot about those matchups, and he's dialed in this season as well. As you look there, his 5th year in the National Football League, and 4th on the team in tackles, 2.5 sacks on the season. Great run stuffer.
2nd and 7, Fitzpatrick. And that's Forte, and Forte out of bounds just short of the 35, pushed out by Jabal Sheard. So that'll leave the Jets with a 3rd and about 4. Fitzpatrick having himself a decent day.
Yeah, coming into this game, you would think it'd be lopsided the other way. Right now, things weighted in the favor of Fitzpatrick. Although Tom Brady, after that last turnover by the Jets, was able to get him down the field and tie this thing up.
And New England calls a timeout here with using their second with 2:11 to play in the first half. You know, reminder once again, the Verizon halftime report comes your way shortly. JB and the guys back in New York with scores and highlights coming up on the Verizon halftime report. You know, you and I have talked about Ryan Fitzpatrick from time to time and his problems so far this season, and more people than just you and I call him a gunslinger. He goes out there and sometimes he's on the mark and sometimes he isn't.
Well, and I think that's what he's been doing today. He's been very efficient today about not forcing the balls. You know, sometimes he has so much confidence in his arm. He has so much confidence in his receivers, especially Brandon Marshall, that a lot of times he'll try squeezing a ball in there because of that supreme confidence. Today he's been very efficient with his decisions, getting the underneath routes, making the smart throws, and you can see with the numbers that we just showed, he's playing very efficiently.
3rd and 4.
Yeah, hey, buddy, yeah, fence there. Left to 54, left to 54. Yeah, 53. And 53. Come on, Cart. Hey, 80.
Fitzpatrick looking left, throwing left, and it is incomplete at the 20-yard line. Intended for Jalen Marshall and broken up by Eric Rowe.
Well, and you can hear the crowd rumbling. They thought Rowe got there early before the ball. As we take a look to the replay here, they dropped down into robber coverage, which means they had a safety drop in.
He did get there before the ball.
You can understand why the crowd's grumbling the way they did. Watch this contact before the ball gets there.
So now Nick Folk about to attempt a 54-yarder. Blocked. Picked up at the line of scrimmage by Dante Hightower. That brings us to the 2-minute warning at 1:58 to play. The Jets looking to take the lead. Folk's field goal attempt knocked down. Number 7 is Alan Branch. He got a big left hand up to block the Nick Folk field goal, and here are the Patriots at their own 46. Quick pass, that's Mitchell, and Mitchell with a first down to the Jet 43. 1:50 to play. Clock continues to move. Each team with one timeout remaining.
Well, and that's the risk when you take a long field goal like the Jets, attempt a long field goal like the Jets did, is if you miss it, you're giving the Patriots the ball near midfield, and you change the trajectory of your kick to a lower kick, which ultimately got blocked.
So the Patriots drives today, first quarter, second quarter. That's James White out of the backfield, and he's run out of bounds at about the 43-yard line by David Harris. David Harris, the Michigan alum, and therefore not real happy today. I would venture to guess not the only.
No, that was one of those frustrating games, and there's another Michigan guy right there in Tom Brady, not real happy about that outcome yesterday.
.122 on the clock, 2nd and 11. Brady pulls it down a couple of times, then throws to the far side of the field. This is Amendola. And Amendola to about the 35-yard line. Clock continues to move, 70 seconds to play.
Well, good discipline by the Jets defense here. He came out and pump fake to the right to Amendola, trying to get Edelman down the middle or to the outside to Hogan, and Jets didn't bite on it, but that late release or late check down to the outside got him some yards.
New England saving that timeout.
52! 319!
Brady gonna throw for it. Got his man over the middle. That's Chris Hogan. Hogan has the first down to the 22.
Well, that's the most protection, or appeared to be the most protection that Brady's had all day. After this play fake, trying to get Devlin out in the right flat. I think it's Hogan working underneath.
12 seconds to play. Brady going to go for it all. The end zone. It is incomplete. Intended for Mitchell, covered by Darryl Roberts. Looked like Mitchell had a shot at catching that too.
Just a little bit underthrown. Allows Roberts to get his hand in there. Mitchell has to come back for the ball, tries to jump up, but saw Roberts get that left arm in there and yank the ball away.
6 seconds on the clock, and onto the field comes the field goal unit led by Steven Gostowski. This will be a 39-yard attempt. On its way. Did he pull it? He did pull it.
Well, that's a big win for the Jets defense as they hold New England to a field goal attempt, and looks like the snap and hold are clean.
Gostowski was 14 for 17 in field goals. And there's his 4th miss of the season. And of course, all the emotion in the world on the face of Todd Bowles.
That's about the same emotion he showed when he got that first down overturned with his challenge replay in the first quarter.
Fitzpatrick will take a knee, and that will do it for the first half. Jets got off to the start. New England came back. It's 10-10. And we're back with the Verizon Halftime Report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. We're back at MetLife Stadium in the Meadowlands, where the Jets and the Patriots are tied as we get set to start the second half. Here's a look at the first half fresh start presented by Febreze, and turning point in the first half. Jets were cruising along, and Robbie Anderson lost the ball here. The fumble forced and then recovered by Malcolm Butler. Patriots went down and scored the tying touchdown, and that's where we are at 10-10. Greg Gumbel along with Trent Green. The Jets get the ball first in this second half now and gives them a chance to try to reestablish the momentum that they had.
Well, I've been very impressed with what the Jets have done today, especially on the offensive side of the ball. This is the Ryan Fitzpatrick that the Jets expected all season long. He's been very efficient with the football, not forcing things down the field, hitting the crossing routes and underneath routes, and then when the play is there to make, he goes ahead and goes for it.
As you look at the first half stats, something else that the Patriots are going to have to deal with is the Jet defense that everyone expected at the start of the season. They've been impressive.
They've been very impressive. You can see the number of rushing yards that the Patriots have been limited to, but also the amount of pressure that they've put on Tom Brady consistently throughout this game.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, 12 of 17 in the first half for 160 yards and a touchdown. Did they ever call you the gunslinger when you were playing?
I sometimes tried to force it in there a little bit too much sometimes, yeah.
We can call you the gunslinger at our production meetings if you like. That'll make you feel better. Jeremy Ross will not run this one out of the end zone. Let's go down to Jamie.
Greg, I caught head coach Todd Bowles going into the half for the Jets. He told me offensively they need to get back to more manageable third downs that we saw more in the first quarter. Defensively, don't expect that line to take their foot off the gas pedal in terms of getting hits on Tom Brady. Speaking of the Patriots quarterback, he was the last player to come out of the locker room out of the half. We also don't see Rob Gronkowski yet. At this point, Bill Belichick told me that's something that they're used to and they're just going to have to adjust.
All right, Jamie, thank you. They are used to it, and they leaned more on Martellus Bennett earlier in the season when Gronkowski wasn't available. So here's Fitzpatrick at the 25. Play fake. Has time. Penalty marker is thrown, and that is complete to Robbie Anderson on the far side of the field. And this is going to be against the Jets, it would appear.
Holding. Offense, number 68. 10-yard penalty. First down.
The right tackle, Breno Giacomini. Meanwhile, Brandon Marshall off to a good start in the first half.
Well, he's been very efficient as well. He's been dialed in with Ryan Fitzpatrick all day. See the corner route there, bringing it in on the tough reception, able to break through some tackles, and then the one-on-one in the end zone for the touchdown. I talked about Ryan Fitzpatrick being the type of player this season that playing today like they thought he was going to be. Brandon Marshall's playing that way as well. Had some struggles throughout the season, but very efficient today. Playing very well.
This is Bilal Powell, and Powell carries it out to the 20-yard line. The Jets gathered 10 points on their first 3 drives of the day, and since then they fumbled and they had a blocked field goal. And Ryan Fitzpatrick now going to have to deal with what Todd Bowles told Jamie Erdahl. It needs some manageable second and third down. And in second half struggles, he's had them this year.
He has had some second half struggles, and a lot of those ball games they're trying to come from behind, and when you fall behind you have to be a little bit more risky with the football, and he said that's the thing you have to guard against when facing these New England Patriots.
Fitzpatrick got his man and overthrew him. Brandon Marshall had a step on the coverage and pleads his case to the official.
There he is in the slot. You can see he's probably asking the official why it wasn't a holding call. A lot of contact there in those initial 5 yards. He passed up the opportunity to have a conversation with Bill Belichick right there.
And apparently that went both ways. 3rd and 15.
Hey, 20!
Fitzpatrick stepping up, got rid of it. This is Powell. And Powell not going to get very far at all, just across the 25-yard line.
Well, just 2 plays ago, Greg, you talked about the Jets having to keep out of 3rd and long, and that's exactly what they had that time. The Patriots only rushing 3. Watch, and they drop everybody out, forcing Fitzpatrick to dump it off underneath and then rally to make the tackle. Getting that holding call on 1st down didn't help him.
Plenty of kudos on the Patriots sideline for the defense. Danny Amendola deep for the upcoming punt. Edwards gets a good one off. Amendola at the 22. Breaking it to the outside and brought down at about the 30 or the 31-yard line. And Tom Brady going to work on those numbers for the first time here in the second half after this.
Broadcast is copyrighted by NFL Productions for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of NFL Productions is prohibited.
LeGarrette Blount lines up behind Brady. And the give is to Martellus Bennett. And Bennett trying to turn the corner and does. Before he's brought down. Let's go down to Jamie.
Greg, in the first half, with just 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, we saw Rob Gronkowski walk to the locker room on his own power. He is officially out of this game with that back injury that he left with.
All right, Jamie, and to add to the tight end troubles for the Patriots, Martellus Bennett is slow to get up from the ground.
Well, and to add to that, Matt Lingle, their 3rd tight end, isn't active today, so appears like the ball comes out, but it's the ground that's causing it.
His knee was down before that ball came out. We'll take a timeout as the injuries start to pile up.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. New York Life. With the right guidance, everyone can be good at life. And by Acura. Precision crafted performance.
Second down and 6 for Brady at his own 35. And he's going to throw sideline, and he's got his man, and that's Edelman, and Edelman has a first down to about the 45-yard line. So Martellus Bennett on the sideline, Rob Gronkowski out for the game. The 3rd tight end, Matt Lingle, is inactive today, so what does a team do without a tight end?
Well, you go back to what they did at the beginning of the season when Gronkowski was out early on those first couple of games, and backup tackle Cameron Fleming will be playing. On that last play, he was playing tight end, but you also see more 3 and 4 wide receiver sets. You have to remember James White, the running back, is tied with Martellus Bennett for 2nd on the team in reception, so look for him to play some more also.
Brady's pass on the near side is complete to White out of the backfield. Across midfield and to the Jet 48-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 3.
Well, as I mentioned, White this time coming out of the backfield, and he is tied with Bennett for the 2nd leading receiver. Coming into today, 39 receptions, 353 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
I beg your pardon, 2nd and 3. And you see Bennett up and walking along the sideline. Give it to Lewis, and Lewis has a first down at about the 45.
When you see Devlin there, 46, he also is fullback / tight end. They can use him in a number of different ways. So not only will you see Cameron Fleming come in, the backup tackle, but you'll see James Devlin. They'll be moving those guys around as we see Bennett come back on the field. Not 100% though.
see how active Bennett can be. Meanwhile, the give is to Blunt. Blunt turning the corner. And out of bounds at about the 30-yard line.
They
He's going to be marked out at the 29.
Sorry about that, Greg. They ran the ball away from Martellus Bennett. Bennett was lined up on the right side, and I was trying to watch him as he was blocking Leonard Williams, and he was trying to plant that leg and get as much as he could into it, but not able to hold him off very much. Blunt with a big run around the left side.
That's an 18-yard pickup. Brady gives it to Blunt. And this one will lose yardage back to about the 29. Calvin Pryor coming up from the safety position.
Well, and you say, why do you put Bennett in on those running situations? And why not just put Fleming in? Put that extra. Watch him here. He doesn't really plant it. There's not a whole lot of power there. Just almost in there to just kind of get in the way or shadow the guy that's rushing.
52, 319.
Second and 12 now for Brady. Fakes the end around and throws it away. Whatever the grand design was of that play, it didn't come off the way it was written.
I know exactly what it was. It was supposed to be you're faking the dive. Watch, they're gonna fake the dive, then they're gonna fake the around right there to Edelman, and then you want to set up the screens at the outside, and the Jets were all over it. There was nowhere for Tom to go with the football. Smart decision by him to throw it away before he took the sack.
So here's a big third down for both sides.
That's one of those trick plays where you're just trying to do a bunch of misdirection and buy some time for a long developing play.
So we have a timeout on the field. The Jets use a timeout. Their first here in the second half with 9:24 to play in the third. Now, we know what the Jets wanted to do. They wanted to take that second half kickoff and go down and generate some offense. It didn't happen. It's important for them now to put the clamps on the New England offense.
It does, and when you look at the Jets, that opening possession here in the second half, they got the penalty on first down, moved them back to 1st and 20. They weren't able to recover from that, got the punt away. Good field position, not great field position, but good field position for the Patriots, and they've been able to overcome the injuries to the tight ends. Bennett getting hurt and coming back in the game, and now they've been able to get some first downs and moving into position where they can once again get a field goal attempt, but they ultimately want to convert this third down and keep this drive going.
Brady. And James White out of the backfield, diving for first down yardage. David Harris making the stop, and he's about a yard short. What does Bill Belichick do?
Well, right now, Gostkowski's staying on the sideline. They're looking over. Play clock is already down to 25 seconds. They got Devlin and Blunt coming in the game.
Yep, James Devlin. And play clock down to 15. Up to the line of scrimmage in a hurry. Movement on the offensive line.
Well, I think they could even, it looks like they're going to call it on the defense, but they could even get, Tom Brady had a little shoulder roll there and a head bob, but.
Neutral zone infraction, number 96, defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Muhammad Wilkerson.
I want you to watch the upper body of Tom Brady here. Watch the shoulders and the head as it bob. He gets knee flex. He gets everything into it. But they call it on Wilkerson.
How much can you get away with as a quarterback?
There's a veteran rule there, and it's not supposed to be there, but it's there. And I know as a veteran guy, you sometimes get more of the benefit of the doubt.
Blunt sidesteps the first tackler, reaches maybe the 11-yard line. And Lorenzo Malden, who is back on the field.
But I think it was pretty clear there, Greg, that you saw his knees bend, you saw the shoulders flex, you saw the head bob a little bit. It's so first down for New England. No, I believe me, I've benefited from a lot.
You're a D lineman. How do you not jump at that?
I know. It's it's one of those ones that you try getting away with. If you didn't get it, then you back it up and kick the field goal. So
I'm telling Tom, you thought he committed a penalty.
Like I said, I used it several times.
2nd and 8. Brady with time throwing. It is incomplete inside the 10. Intended for Dion Lewis. And it'll be 3rd and 8.
Well, a lot of times it's how you respond to things. And right now the Jets, after getting called for the offsides, giving them the easy first down, responded with a stop on first down and forcing an incompletion on second down.
From the 11. 3-yard line gets them a first down.
Mitchell against Roberts on the outside here.
Brady throwing far side, incomplete. Intended for White. And that will bring Gostkowski on for the field goal attempt.
Getting White isolated over in the flat against Rontez Miles. Looks like he has him beat, but Miles may be undercutting that. So if you keep that low and flat, that's one that he could knock away or potentially intercept. So keeping it high and to the outside is the safe throw.
Gostkowski from 29 yards out. And that kick is good. 7:34 remaining in the third. The Patriots grab their first lead of the day, 13-10. 12-play, 58-yard drive, and the Gostkowski field goal has New England on top for the first time today, 13-10. And Jeremy Ross is deep for the Jets. He will not return this one, take a knee in the end zone. And the Jets will start at their own 25-yard line. On Monday, the Patriots partnered with Goodwill to give 220 families in need a Thanksgiving basket. Pats have been involved in the event every year since Robert Kraft bought the team back in 1994. And on Tuesday, the Jets teamed up with Food Bank for New York City to serve a free Thanksgiving dinner to over 400 guests in Harlem. Good stuff, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you on this tail end of the Thanksgiving holiday. Matt Forte behind Fitzpatrick on first down. And Forte finds his way across the 30 to the 31-yard line. That's where his forward progress will be marked. Let's check in with JB and Bart in New York.
Hey, as Trent knows, most players are like pseudo-physicians, so take a look at this, Bart, and what happened.
I tell you what, welcome to the club. He didn't close that finger all the way, and that ball got caught up, and it looks like he dislocated his finger on his throwing hand. Matt McGloin is in right now. They're playing it pretty safe, leaning on that offensive line, running the football.
And, of course, that's Derek Carr who had it happen to him. Back to Greg Gumbel.
Some dirt on him.
All right, guys, thank you. This is Forte, and Forte still fighting for yardage to about the 33. So how serious is a dislocated finger on the throwing hand?
It's a very serious injury, and I know Bart Scott, as he threw it back, said rub some dirt on it. Not at quarterback, you don't. Not when it's your throwing hand. I know I dislocated my finger on a snap like that, but it was my non-throwing hand. So, yeah, you can just pop it back into place, tape it together, and you keep rolling. But when it's your throwing hand, that's where your strength comes from, and that's as you're trying to get a grip on the ball. So that's a significant injury for Derek Carr and for the Raiders.
Third and 2. Running out of time, he needs the snap, and he got it away. Fitzpatrick going to run for it, diving, and got the first down just across the 35-yard line.
We've had the Jets several times over the last few years, and we have a little fun with Fitzpatrick and the Jets themselves about his lack of sliding. But this time here, there's no room for sliding. This is, you're going for the first down. He dives for it and gets it.
Yeah, the slide would not have gotten first down for him here.
No, that would have done nothing for you. That's sometimes you just have to go in there. Now, you can ask him. He can be out in the middle of the field with nobody around. He's going to go ahead first.
Deeper drop, Fitzpatrick with time, and that's complete. And that's the tight end, Brandon Bostic. And we're having a revolution of sorts here on offense for the Jets. The believe that's the third time today that a tight end has been targeted.
That's unbelievable how much we just were talking about coming into this game, that only 4 catches for the tight ends. As you look at the numbers, things kind of swinging heavily in New England's favor since that first quarter, but still a tight ball game, and the Jets looking to go down and tie it up or take the lead.
Under 5 minutes to play here in the third.
180! Place a hut! Like 54 some light. Adam! Wait, 20! Present!
He'll give it to Powell. And Powell just about a half yard shy of a first down. It'll be 3rd and short. We talked about those tight ends. Some teams make use of them, and the Jets really have not.
Yeah, you can see 4 for 30 yards. New England, on the other hand, as you can see, is 4th and 2nd in terms of 4th in receptions and 2nd in yardage.
Which you can do when you've got a Gronkowski and a Martellus Bennett.
That's the thing. They walked in the room last night, and you're like, Martellus is quite a bit bigger than Gronk. Those are 2 big physical tight ends. You understand why that's such a big weapon and why it's a big loss with Gronk out of the game and Martellus being wobbled.
3rd and short yardage. Powell going to look for it and get it as he crosses the 45. So for the second time on this drive, the Jets convert, and they have a first down now at their own 46.
Well, we're having a little fun at the tight end's expense here, but it's been impressive what Ryan Fitzpatrick has done today, how he's spread the ball around. 7 different receivers, 14 of 20.
Mike's 5-4. 180! What's that?
And this is Forte, and Forte can't find any running room, manages back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Just a reminder for you, you can get the CBS Sports app for inside access to breaking news and expert analysis of your favorite team. It has everything you need. Download the CBS Sports app today.
Take a look at Forte there, and frustration on his part. Came into today as the 8th leading rusher in the National Football League, and so far on the day only averaging 2 yards a carry. Hasn't yet quite found that crease to get a big chunky yard.
On 2nd and 10, Fitzpatrick going deep and has his man open. Incomplete. C.J. Spiller had his man beaten. He had Kyle Van Noy, the linebacker, on him. Sounds like an ideal matchup if you're the offense.
Well, and I think that's what you're looking for as a quarterback. You're looking for that best matchup. C.J. Spiller has the ball go right through his hands. Yes, it's underthrown a little bit, as you see right at the end of that play as he's stumbling backwards.
Did you think that was interference?
There was contact there before the ball got there, but I don't think that prevented him from catching the football.
3rd and 10. Fitzpatrick throws it. That is complete, and there's a penalty flag. Several thrown. The pass is completed to Jalen Marshall.
Well, they're either going to get offensive pass interference. Before that completion took place, they were blocking downfield.
Pass interference, offense number 81. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So Enunwa is guilty of the offensive interference. And that will force the Jets to kick it away. There's still a penalty flag down on the field, which is now being retrieved. Amendola is deep. Fair catch called for and made at about the 12-yard line. 2:24 to play in the third. Tom Brady taking the field with a 3-point lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Walmart. Find gifts, groceries, and more this season. And by Collateral Beauty from New Line Cinema. In theaters December 16th.
early evening over the Statue of Liberty. Welcome back, everybody, from the 12-yard line.
319!
Brady and the Patriots, and the give is to Blunt, and Blunt tripped up and may have gotten a yard or so. Calvin Pryor in from the secondary to make the initial hit. Tight ends, tough day for the Patriots.
Rob Gronkowski out with a back injury. We believe that was the play that had happened on, and Martellus Bennett injuring his ankle last series. He was able to come back in the game, but is still hobbled from that, so there's been a lot of rotation for the Patriots. Cameron Fleming's coming in, playing a little bit of tight end, the backup tackle in running situations, also the rotation with the backs being more involved.
And a jump in the middle of the line. That was Deion Simon. Let's see who's at fault.
Neutral zone infraction, number 93, defense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Gives us a chance to check in once again with JB and Bart in New York. Guys.
One play for Carolina.
Yes, Cam Newton on 3rd and 6 throws a strike to Ted Ginn Jr. for the 88-yard score. JB, Derek Carr has come back. He has a glove on, and he has a nice tight spiral with his first attempt with the glove on.
That is good news. Back to Greg Gumbel.
All right, guys, thank you. 2nd and 5, and Brady. Out of the backfield is Devlin, and Devlin looking for the first down at about the 22, appears to have it.
When they utilize Devlin a number of different ways, you see him there to Tom Brady's left, our right in this view, and just getting out in the flat, out some open space and picking up the first down.
You know, I don't want to say he's got a strong arm, but I believe Cam Newton threw that one half the length of the football field off his back foot.
Going off his back foot, I know. He does. He has a tremendous arm.
Brady. Under pressure from Leonard Williams, got rid of it.
Just trying to run a bootleg, faking out to the left, roll out to the right. Williams not falling for it at all. And as we see Cameron Fleming coming in the game, that extra offensive tackle coming in as an eligible tight end.
The New England Patriots have played themselves a pretty clean game. They've not allowed a sack. They haven't turned the ball over, and they've committed one penalty. There you see it. Pass to the near side. That's complete to Dion Lewis, and Lewis across the 25 to the 26-yard line. And half a minute to play here in the third.
I think the Patriots would just let this run out instead of getting another ball snapped.
Bill Belichick looking at the game clock and the play clock.
So as a quarterback, you go in and give him a little pep talk before the fourth quarter arrives.
We come to the end of 3. 13-10 Patriots. We're coming back to the Meadowlands after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Along with our producer Jim Rickoff, our director Suzanne Smith, Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, Jamie Erdahl at the Meadowlands as we start the fourth quarter. As advertised, New England and the Jets usually play it tight. It's a 3-point game as we start the fourth.
Well, Bill Belichick told us that in the meeting yesterday. He said, listen, we've had a lot of close games against these guys. You don't want to get caught up in what their record is because we know each other so well.
Third and 5. Brady looks right, throws right. Incomplete, intended for Chris Hogan. How close? Each of the last 6 meetings, 7 points or less in 3 overtime games. Week 16 here last year, the Jets won at 26-20 in overtime. Allen gets it away. Jeremy Ross, fair catch called for and made at about the 26-yard line. Tonight on CBS, one NCIS Los Angeles agent is being targeted and the conspiracy puts the whole team in danger. Don't miss a new NCIS Los Angeles tonight after 60 minutes, only CBS.
That was a big stop for the Jets defensively because the Patriots had really kind of gained momentum since that second quarter on, and now with the three-point game, the Jets get the ball back.
154. Thank you.
So Fitzpatrick and company from their own 27.
180.
Sideline. That's complete. Robbie Anderson out of bounds, short of the first down. Let's get another update from JB and Bart in New York, guys.
Carolina's D helping the cause.
Thomas Davis reading Derek Carr's eyes off his back foot, intercepts it and takes it back 31 yards. The Panthers are in scoring position right now on the 4-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. The comeback is on, JB.
Back to Greg Gumbel.
All right, guys, thank you. Look at the tough AFC West.
Mike 5-4, solid 5-4. AD 54.
On second and short yardage. They'll look to Forte to get it, and he does. Dances through the left side and close to the 40-yard line for a first down. So the ground game for the New York Jets has really been nothing to speak of, and this is an offense that prides itself on running the football. But Fitzpatrick has run for 1 yard, Bilal Powell for 30, and Forte for 26, and that's been it.
Yeah, they like to get the run game going because it helps out with the play-action pass, and the Jets like to utilize a lot of play-action pass. It's not going to sell the defense a whole lot if they're not real scared with the run game.
Fitzpatrick with time and then throws over the middle. This is Forte, and Forte has a first down and into New England territory to the 45.
Well, I know I've said it several times today, Greg, but Ryan Fitzpatrick I'm so impressed with because earlier this season, we've had them several times. He continued to try and force the ball down the field. Today, he's been very efficient with his decisions, hitting the checkdowns, whether it be the tight ends. We've talked about that numerous times, utilizing the tight end, and now getting the running backs even more involved. He's spread the ball around, 17 completions to 8 different receivers, being very smart with the football today.
Hey, 5-0. 180.
From the 45. Fitzpatrick with time and throwing, incomplete to Marshall. Brandon Marshall to the New England 32 and another first down.
Marshall just a dig route. He's going to push up about 10 yards and break it into the middle. New England is in a cover 2 look with the middle linebacker getting too deep and getting the underneath route. Good accurate throw from Fitzpatrick.
You saw Malcolm Butler try that same move that produced the fumble from Robbie Anderson. And Marshall, a bit shaken up, heads to the sideline.
54's Mike, 5-0. 5-0. 180.
Fitzpatrick, that's complete. And this is tight end Brandon Bostic. And Bostic to about the 23-yard line. Looks to be about a yard short of a first down.
Watch the shell of the defense by the New England Patriots. It's going to be a 2-deep look, and what they're very smart about doing, the Jets are today, is when they get into that 2-deep look, the linebackers get deep. That's where those underneath routes or those sit-down routes, whether it be by a running back or it be by a tight end. So they're not giving up the big play because they're counting on Fitzpatrick to try and push it into covers, but he's been smart about hitting the underneath throws all day.
Another manageable second down, 2nd and 1, and this is Forte. And Forte looks like forward progress is going to give him the first down, even though he's pushed back. Let's get another update from the guys in New York who are a little bit busy today.
Hey, Greg, 18 unanswered for Carolina.
Yes, Jonathan Stewart's going to punch it in from 3 yards out to take the lead 25-24 in Oakland.
1:46 left in the third. Greg, back to you.
All right, guys, thank you. Atlanta leading the way in that NFC South. First down, Jets at the 22. Fitzpatrick going to go for it all down the sideline. It is incomplete. Couldn't connect with Brandon Marshall.
Marshall coming back in the game, getting one-on-one coverage to the outside against Rowe. Just a little too long, could only get the one hand on it. You know, you and I were talking about this leading up to this game, and during the week, you look at the defense of the Patriots. They're 17th in overall defense, 17th in rush defense, 15th in pass defense. But what are they in points allowed? 3rd. So they are giving up yardage. They've been doing that all season, but when it gets down into this red zone, they've been able to keep teams off the board.
Wait, 20!
2nd and 10. Fitzpatrick going to go for it all on this side. It is caught. Did he come down in bounds by Quincy Enunwa?
He doesn't ever get that left foot down, and I'm sure we'll take a couple different looks at it, but the right foot comes down. He secures the ball. The difference is going to be if his backside hits the ground before he gets out of bounds. Let's see, the right foot comes down. His backside hits before he hits the pylon. That'll be a touchdown.
The fans sure say so.
The Jets are challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass. We will review the play.
Either way, what an effort by Enunwa.
Well, and a great throw. Puts it in a spot where only Enunwa can catch it.
We'll have the decision after this. We're still waiting on the verdict from this.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field has been changed. Receiver caught the ball. It was a touchdown. The Jets are taking a timeout and having won a 6-second challenge.
And maybe the first smile we've seen from Todd Bowles all day long.
I was going to say, that looked like a smile on Todd Bowles' face. Take one more look at it here. Just a perfectly thrown ball where only Quincy Enunwa could come up with it. You see him secure the ball. His backside hits, and the ball doesn't budge when he hits the ground. There was no bobble of the ball at all.
Todd Bowles says, yeah, good, we're going to go for one. Nick Folk for the extra point. .17 to play in the fourth. The Jets regain the lead at 17-13. 73-yard drive culminating in the 22-yard touchdown catch by Quincy Enunwa, his 4th of the season. 2nd touchdown pass on the day by Ryan Fitzpatrick. Amendola will not run this one out. And so the Patriots will start at their own 25. Busy day as usual on a Sunday. New York Giants and the Cleveland Browns, their 12th straight win of this season. The Atlanta Falcons, you and I will see them next Sunday, Trent. Rolled over the Arizona Cardinals. And the Baltimore Ravens stood as huge late in the game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Odell Beckham Jr. with 6 catches for 96 yards and 2. And Matt Ryan throwing for 2 touchdowns as well. Tucker with 4 out of 4 field goals for the Ravens. And Ryan Tannehill, a big day as the Dolphins stretch their winning streak. On the slant, Mitchell across the 35 to the 38-yard line. Malcolm Mitchell is a guy that we have seen come on strong lately.
Well, and he's needed to. They've needed to have more presence, especially with the injury to Rob Gronkowski throughout this season. He needs to get more involved. So, see the quick. We've seen this play several times today, where Brady comes out, does a quick flash fake, turns his back to that side of the field, and then hits the slant for the first down.
38-yard line. Hogan in motion. Brady stepping up, throwing wide open over the middle. He hits his man inside the 40. That's Hogan. We were talking with Bill Belichick last night about how quarterbacks have that instinct of when to move, and we saw it from Brady as he stepped up right there and out of danger.
And we were just talking about the feel thing. You know, there's sometimes that certain people see certain things, and quarterbacks just have a feel it. They don't have to necessarily see it. They just feel it. And that time, he's able to feel his way up in the pocket. He doesn't want to take off and run. He just wants to slide up, buy himself some time, and keep his eyes upfield.
And the ones who don't feel it don't last very long, do they?
That's right.
23-yard pass, the longest of the day for the Patriots. Brady over the middle, and that's complete. And to the 30-yard line is Julian Edelman. Tonight, can Alzheimer's be prevented? A groundbreaking study in the unlikely place. 60 Minutes went to find it. Tonight, only CBS. Brady on a roll here, under 8.5 to play. Quick pass to the near side, and going down low to scoop it up is Dion Lewis.
I just got through talking about on the Jets last series how Ryan Fitzpatrick was taking advantage of the drop coverage and hitting the underneath routes. Now that's 3 completions in a row where Brady has taken advantage. The fact the Jets are only rushing 4, dropping 7 into coverage, staying zone deep, which allows those underneath throws. He's taking advantage of it.
50! 319!
This is Lewis. And Lewis spins to about the 23-yard line. Muhammad Wilkerson with the tackle. Clock continues to move, coming up on 7.5 to play. Here in the fourth quarter, Jets owner Woody Johnson. Very interesting, the Jets with 3 quarterbacks on the roster. Only Ryan Fitzpatrick's deal expires at the end of this year. Brady getting the jump and making the play is Calvin Pryor.
Well, Calvin Pryor all over this, jumping on James White with just a hitch route to the outside. Pryor jumps it. If Brady doesn't lead this ball to the outside, that could have been a pick 6 the other way. Still at a point in time here, we got a big 3rd down. Plenty of time left on the clock, though, if you settle for a field goal to make this a 1-point game. Not quite 4-down territory yet.
Patriots 3 out of 10 on 3rd down today. Brady going to go the other way. Far side, has a man open and through his hands. Malcolm Mitchell had it go right through his hands in the end zone.
Tell you the truth, Greg, I was watching Edelman working underneath from Tom Brady's left. You'll see him work to the middle of the field, has a chance to pick up the 1st down, but Brady recognizing that there's a spot. Gilchrist stays too far into the middle of the field, goes for the touchdown just off the fingertips of Mitchell.
Gostkowski from 41 yards. It is good. 7:02 to play in the fourth quarter. Mitchell will think about this one for a while.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the all-new Chrysler Pacifica, imported from Detroit. Febreze, eliminate odors you've gone nose blind to and breathe happy. And by Domino's, order online at Domino's.com.
Bunch of guys have coached for both the Patriots and the Jets. Bill Parcells, Pete Carroll, Eric Mangini, and Bill Belichick coached the Jets for 1 day before resigning back in the year 2000. Jeremy Ross at the goal line. Up the left side. And just across the 20-yard line, and we have a penalty marker down. So Brad Allen and his crew will talk about it.
Still plenty of time left here. Both teams have New England with all their timeouts, Jets with 2 of their timeouts. A lot of football left to be played.
During the return, illegal blocking the back on the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First down, timeout.
Penalties beginning to jump up and bite the Jets at inopportune moments. 17-16 Jets. The Jets from their own 8. Fitzpatrick going to throw it. Diving catch is made at the 30-yard line by Enunwa. That's a heck of a call.
And a good play fake here, gets a run fake, but Ryan Fitzpatrick steps up in the pocket. Great catch by Enunwa, going low to get the football. You see the pressure that Fitzpatrick was under, even takes a little swipe to the helmet there. But he's able to accurately throw the ball up the field, and Enunwa comes up with a timely catch.
See there, the Jets have exceeded their average number of passing yards today. Powell. And Bilal Powell carrying guys inside the 45 to the 43. Once again, JB and Bart in New York. Guys,
Talk about a Carolina explosion.
Cam Newton hooks up with Kelvin Benjamin for the 44-yard touchdown strike to extend their lead 32-24. 25 unanswered, JB.
13:26 left in regulation. Back to Greg Gumbel.
all right, guys, thank you. Carolina looking up at everybody else in the NFC South.
Mike's 5-4.
2nd and 4.
Wait, Ernie!
Fitzpatrick got rid of it. Incomplete. Patriots say there's nobody in the area, and there's a penalty marker dropped in the backfield.
Well, and that's the right call. There was no one there. Ryan Fitzpatrick just trying to get the ball out of his hands. Matt Forte was on a check down over to his right, but that ball was nowhere near.
Intentional grounding. Number 14, offense. Loss of down. Penalty from the previous spot. Third down.
That's the big part of an intentional grounding, the loss of down.
Well, watch Forte as he sneaks out to the right. See, he steps up. He knows he's going to get sacked there and just getting rid of the football.
I would think you could make an argument for the direction of the ball changing as you're being brought to the ground.
They don't care.
They
They want to know where it ends up. So,
3rd and 11. Fitzpatrick gets it out, and it's incomplete. Drop by Bilal Powell. And that'll bring the punting unit on. I think Powell may have turned his head before the ball got there.
well, even though that wasn't quite the drive that the Jets wanted, that completion to Enunwa got them separation from their own goal line. So getting that extra 20, 25 yards for Edwards to punt is going to be a big advantage from a field position standpoint.
Edwards. Amendola at the 27, penalty marker down. Amendola almost breaking free, lost the football. Jets are saying they have it, penalty markers are down, officials will conference.
During the kick, holding number 32 of the return team. That 10-yard penalty will be administered from the end of the kick. First down, timeout.
So Devin McCourty guilty of the hold, and that'll back the Patriots up a bit. 5:04 remaining here in the 4th.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway. Try the classic Reuben, stacked with corned beef, limited time only. And by Garmin Fitness. Let's beat yesterday.
You know what this is? This is your typical Patriots-Jets matchup. Tom Brady has never lost back-to-back games against the Jets in his career. Week 16 of last year, the Jets won in overtime. Brady to throw. In and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Martellus Bennett. 2nd and 10. As a reminder, Week 12 continues with Sunday Night Football on NBC, Monday Night Football on ESPN, and then Week 13 kicks off with Thursday Night Football on NBC, NFL Network, and streaming on Twitter. Brady throwing, it's got his man, that's Edelman. Edelman out to the 40 or so and a first down.
Well, that time Edelman one-on-one with Revis. We haven't really talked about Revis much today. The Patriots haven't gone after him, but this time Edelman just expands him on the release and then cuts underneath. Gilchrist over the top, but Edelman flattening it off with the linebackers biting up. Brady able to get into that second window.
Darrelle Revis, the ex-New England Patriot. The Jets prior to that. First down. 4:20 to play. Brady pulls it down and now lobs it to the sideline. It is complete to Dion Lewis inside the 45 to the 43 of the Jets.
Well, and the Jets trying to change it up. This time only rushing 3 on first down, dropping 8 into coverage. All that does is buy time, and Dion Lewis working that left sideline. What created or got him the space to be open was when Brady slid to his left. Then you have to respect that and come up and allowed him to drop it over the top.
3:40 to play. Going to go for it all down the sideline. It is out of bounds. Intended for Dion Lewis. It'll be 2nd and 10 after this update from New York. JB.
Tampa seals the deal.
Tampa Bay defense has made plays all day. Only fitting that they sealed the deal. Bradley McDougall with the interception. Tampa Bay gets the victory 14-5. They're now 6-5, 1 game back of the Atlanta Falcons.
Back to Greg Gumbel.
Wow, anybody who saw that coming, raise your hand.
That's a big win for Tampa Bay after getting a win on the road in Kansas City a week ago. So back-to-back weeks for the Buccaneers.
On 2nd down, Brady over the middle, dropped by Edelman. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Well, that's not something you normally see. Edelman with a wide open route here, just sitting down in coverage. But Harris with the hit. He knew Harris was behind him.
Looked like he was turning his head a bit too as the ball arrived.
Yep.
3rd and 10. Jet fans on their feet. That is complete, but short of first down yardage to Edelman.
Well, this would be a 54, 55-yard attempt for Gostkowski. If you want to try it, looks like they're going to go for it. Edelman just running a slant route on the outside.
So Gostkowski stays on the sideline, 4th and 4 for Brady and the Patriots. Throw it to the side. It is caught for a first down. James White made the catch and has first down yardage at the 33.
Darren Lee in coverage out of the backfield. White just taking off on a shoot route. We used to call it a bullets route. You just come out of there at that angle, and once you get the leverage, you hit him in stride like that. That's hard for any inside linebacker to get there.
2:25 to play. Brady with time, wide open down the middle of the field. He hits Chris Hogan. Inside the 10, it'll be 1st and goal. 25 yards and a first down.
Well, now all of a sudden, if you're the Jets, you have to think about taking a timeout. I know it's down to the 2-minute warning, but take a timeout before the 2-minute warning.
Brady looked right and found number 15 wide open. 2 minutes even remaining here in the fourth quarter. Brady and the Patriots first and goal at the 8.
Hey, pop!
Brady pass, it is caught. Touchdown, Malcolm Mitchell.
You can see New England signaling to go for 2. Malcolm Mitchell's going to be lined up against Revis. Just a quick out to the outside. Actually a double out. Edelman was running an out route on the inside. We had mentioned Revis all day, and on this drive, 2 big completions against him to get into the end zone.
Patriots go for 2. They give it to White, coming across and makes it into the end zone.
Timing is the key on that 2-point conversion. You get White coming in motion, you snap the ball, so you get him full speed to be able to outflank the defense. You see Solder out in space.
The Patriots' first 2-point attempt all year is a success. 24-17 the score, and tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and a groundbreaking study on Alzheimer's, followed by all new episodes of NCIS Los Angeles, Madam Secretary, and Elementary tonight, only CBS.
Well, Greg, before the 2-minute warning, I was saying that they should have taken a quick timeout. I didn't realize they were going to score that fast, so now it's good that the Jets didn't call the timeout. They have 2 timeouts remaining. They said the two-point conversion's under review. They just made that announcement.
So Brad Allen is coming over to the hood. Let's take a look. And he ducks inside the pylon.
So his legs get in. The only thing they could be looking at is if that ball is in the left arm.
Thought I saw one official saying that it's no good.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field has been changed. The ball carrier did not get the ball inside the goal line with possession in the end zone. Therefore, the try is no good.
What you said, Trent. Ball is key in his left arm.
Yeah, keep an eye on where the ball is in his left arm. Watch when the foot goes out of bounds. The ball never crosses the goal line by the time the foot lands out of bounds.
So make that a 22-17 lead for New England.
Well, we'll see if that comes into play here. 2 timeouts for the Jets. They need to move downfield and get a touchdown.
By the way, the 2-minute offense for the New York Jets in the fourth quarter this year has produced 0 points.
Well, that's not very exciting, Greg. That's just reality, right? Hey, but you want to know, Fitzpatrick in the last 3 ball games has led fourth quarter drives to get them in position to win football games.
So they will start from the 25-yard line. And we'll see what Fitzpatrick, the gunslinger, can come up with in a minute 56.
I should say Fitzpatrick's last 3 ball games. 2 of them wins, and then the loss to Miami. He went down and got the lead before Miami went down and took the victory back.
Hey, call it pocket Adam. Call it pocket Adam.
Need a touchdown on this one.
Fitzpatrick throwing to this sideline, and out of bounds at the 30 is Jalen Marshall. Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS rolls out regional games, big matchups including the Texans and the Packers. Trent and I will be in Atlanta for the Chiefs-Falcons game, or the Bills and the Raiders. It all begins at noon Eastern with JB and the gang on the NFL Today.
See there, the last time he did it was against the New England Patriots.
2nd and 5, Fitzpatrick under pressure. He got hit from behind. The loose ball is picked up by the Patriots.
Chris Long.
Trey Flowers with the football.
You see his arm coming forward, but I think that ball was knocked loose before the arm transitioned to coming forward. There it comes out before it starts moving forward.
It appears Chris Long got there.
Chris Long,
it is New England ball.
Chris Long matched up with Ajalon, a one-on-one on that backside, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, after a couple hits, is trying to get rid of it.
To a man, this Patriots team has talked about what an addition Chris Long has been to the New England defense.
Just his leadership in the offseason and in the weight room, locker room, the energy he's brought. Only 1 sack on the year, but his bigger plays he's made all year with that forced fumble.
This is LeGarrette Blount. And the Jets will call a timeout and stop the clock at 1:37. JB and Bart have been updating you on that Carolina Oakland Raider game. We have bonus coverage coming your way once this winds down. They are tied at 32.
You know, the thing I'm impressed about with the Jets, though, today, Greg, is the fact that you can see there's no quit in this team. And obviously it hasn't been the year that they had hoped or expected, that anyone expected. When you consider who they had returning, the veteran players they had returning.
52. 319.
Blount. And Blount pulls his way to about the 26-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 2, and they use another timeout, and that is their last timeout. So you figure another running play by the Patriots, but the clock will keep going.
That'll get it to roughly 25-26 or 125-126, and then another 40 seconds off of that before, if you don't get the first down, you kick the field. If you get the first down, it's over.
Right.
You can just take a knee and it's over with. But if you force them to 4th down, they end up having to kick the field goal. Then you're talking down into around the 40 to 45 second range with the kickoff. You're going to have somewhere in the 35 to 40 second range to
get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion just to tie.
319.
Blount got the first down. 15, 10, 5. Out of bounds at about the 2 or the 3-yard line. And there's the clincher.
Well, and you say, why are you running out of bounds here? That doesn't matter at this point in time. With the first down now, you can take the snap and take a knee.
Valiant effort by the Jets comes up short today. Brady takes a knee, and we'll take one more. And Tom Brady looking at career win number 200, which would tie him for the most all-time with Peyton Manning. It also will give the New England Patriots a 16th consecutive season with a winning record as they move to 9-2.
Well, and those are two tremendous accomplishments when you think about the history of the National Football League and what Tom Brady and Bill Belichick have accomplished together as a team, as an organization. They go back home, have the Rams coming up to Foxborough, then they followed it up with Baltimore at home. Then they got to go on the road to Denver.
And as New England moves to 9-2, they stay 2 games up on Miami, 3 up on Buffalo, and the Jets fall to 3-8. And that'll do it. The Patriots come in, withstand a solid effort by the Jets, and knock off the Jets by a score of 22-17. Coming up, we'll have bonus coverage of Carolina and Oakland for Trent Green and Jamie Erdahl. Greg Gumbel saying so long from the Meadowlands to